There's another historic trial that's about to send a shockwave through the 2024 campaign. Jury selection set to begin this Monday for Hunter Biden's gun case, making it the first criminal trial of a sitting president's son. Hunter is facing 3 felony counts, all related to his alleged illegal purchase of a firearm back in October of 2018 while in the throes of a drug addiction. Judge, you don't think this might actually happen? You think maybe a deal comes together this weekend? Because the last thing fell apart.
I think that they cannot afford at this point to have a trial go forward with all the negative press. So I think they're going to work out a plea deal. They're going to say this guy doesn't have any priors and whatever. He's a great guy. He's a wonderful kid. And they're going to work out a deal. But I think the irony here is the son of the most anti-Second Amendment president we've had is using the Second Amendment to get rid of the gun charges based on his constitutional right to have a gun. But if it goes to trial, he's dead to right convicted, both on the lying on the form as well as the gun possession.
Okay, I want to read you something from the DOJ filing in this case. They say this: the defendant's laptop is real. It will be introduced as a trial exhibit, and it contains significant evidence of the defendant's guilt. They add this: moreover, the evidence on his laptop is corroborated by independent sources, including witnesses. It is also corroborated by the defendant's own admissions in his book, Harold.
I agree with the judge on this. I would not be surprised if there was an agreement reached over the weekend. I think for many, those who are around Hunter and his family, I think the laptop is more, whether they're able to, prove that I think there's some even issue that maybe there's a chain of custody issue, whether or not he filled out the application with the form. So all that stuff would come up. But I think it's the laptop and some of the contents that would probably be the most embarrassing. I will say this. I said it yesterday. That Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote the majority opinion, I saw you on earlier, in a case that protects the NRA because their rights were violated. Their First Amendment rights were violated by the New York Department of Financial Services. So I think judges can be fair in these things. And I think as much as President Biden may be anti-Second Amendment or may not be anti-Second Amendment, or even Hunter, people are afforded the protections of the law. But I agree with you. I think they're going to have to agree with the judge. I think they're going to find an agreement before the weekend is up.
Jesse, you think it's about the fact that, at least in part, they don't want that laptop coming out? Because we were told it was all Russian disinformation, but the DOJ says it's real.
Well, they're not going to present evidence in the laptop at trial that ties Joe Biden to anything. And I disagree. I think this is going to trial.
No, your lips to God's ears.
I think it's going to trial because they tried to cut a deal, what was it, like 6 months ago, and it blew up in their face. And now the Justice Department was embarrassed. And they had, in order to regain some level of credibility, I don't think they could all of a sudden try to patch together a deal at the last second in the face of this trial, in the face of the last deal that fell apart. It would just be too bad. Now, Weiss is the guy, the special prosecutor. His whole career is on the line. He's probably getting calls from Delaware, and he's getting heat from Justice to hold firm, because this is just blow up the Justice Department if they cut a deal last second. They're going to be presenting evidence of him smoking crack on camera.
That's
like
what I think
on the day of the gun purchase. And they're going to be bringing in exes, 3 ex-girlfriends. One is the widow of the other son, and Joe Biden paid her a visit earlier in the week. They say it was about an anniversary, but, when's the president ever gone to her house for anything? And so I don't know what he told her. It looks like witness tampering to me, but I think the message is clear. She better say the right thing.
I got you a new pen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Greg.
But listen to how we're talking about this. We're we're not all bent out of shape over it. You know what I mean? This is the difference.
So right.
Like, we're not just going, we got to put him in prison. We're just not like that. And that laptop has enough stuff to put the whole family away. The big guy himself, Hunter, his brother, they're like the Corleone family with head injuries. In Joe's favor, if he ever gets busted for a crime, we know he's unfit to stand trial, so he's safe.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.